So there's an event called the RTCA Dinner where media elites get together and suck each other off and talk about how great they are. And the comedian Aasif Mandvi came in there and wrecked them all.
I'm also excited to be on C-SPAN. Yes. Thank you. Here's the thing. I'm not going to take the bait, okay? Everyone rags on C-SPAN. I'm not going to do it. I won't stoop that low. Also, no one is watching C-SPAN, so who cares? In fact, the only people who would watch C-SPAN are in this room right now. But I give them credit. I give them credit. What they do is hard. An unfiltered view of the workings of Congress and the federal government, no one cares. You might as well just put up a gas station security camera. No one cares. C-SPAN needs to be more like CNN and just forget about the news. Seriously, last week I saw Anthony Bourdain break into the Situation Room with breaking news about the most amazing Philly cheesesteak that he had ever had. And that was riveting. That's what Americans care about, and CNN knows. The only way we are going to care about the budget is if the budget suddenly mysteriously disappeared. Then you create a budget simulator, you get Richard Quest on a panel. You put me right in the middle of the non-action. I'm riveted. Or you go the Fox News route. You get the budget to shoot an unarmed black kid and then rush to the budget's defense, arguing that the budget was written on white paper and that's why this is happening. Listen, I don't care how this goes tonight, because tomorrow it's going to say Muslim bombs or Muslim kills. It's bad for me either way.
I love Aasif Mandvi, man. He's hilarious. I don't know, does he have like a whole bunch of writers like Jon Stewart does on his show, or is that all him? I don't know exactly how it works, but either way, he's fantastic. And the core of what he's getting at there, even though he's just telling jokes and being funny, it's true. It's totally true. The idea is CNN doesn't even bother doing news anymore, and Fox News is, of course, conservative and Republican propaganda. Totally true. Totally true. And that's the thing, like, oftentimes when we talk about CNN, I like to bring up the other biases that they have. So we talk about the establishment bias, how, you know, they always try to be political players and have people in high positions of power, and they want to get access to them, so they're always, like, too kind to people in power. That's the establishment bias. And we also talk about the neutrality bias that they have, which means that to avoid being called liberally biased or having a conservative bias, what they do is they'll try to give 50% credit to both sides and attack both sides 50%. This way they can say, oh, look, our coverage is perfectly neutral, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. But the problem is that's not objectivity. There's a difference between neutrality and objectivity. And objectivity means telling the truth no matter what. And the truth is rarely 50-50. The truth is sometimes very, very polarizing. And it stakes a claim as progressive, right? So we talk about that aspect of CNN. And we also talk about their sensationalism bias, how they just try to get eyeballs. But we rarely talk about how, no, at this point, it's like the biggest problem they have is they don't even do news anymore. They don't. He's right. I mean, what? Doing tragedy porn by talking about a plane that disappeared, talking about that for a month fucking straight? What? We're supposed to consider that news? It's not news. I'm sorry, it's not. The news is supposed to be a menu of all the things happening in the world at any given time, all the serious issues, war, economic issues, you name it, down the list. Instead, they focus on a fucking missing plane without having any more extra updates, and they'll do it for a month straight. So they're just not doing news anymore, and it stems from a perception that is totally inaccurate and silly. And that perception is, if you talk to people in the mainstream media, if you talk to people at CNN, and you discuss how terrible their ratings are with them, they'll tell you, no, look, man, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, that's how the business works. You're only going to get a certain number of people to watch news and political content and current events. It's just not as entertaining as other things. And that's 100% incorrect, and that's the definition of defeatism, where they think, well, what are we going to do? Our ratings suck, and they're always going to suck, and that's just how it is. Fox News has been number one, we're down there, and we suck in the ratings. It is what it is, man. We just accept our place. No. And the analogy I've given before on air is, to have that mindset is to be somebody who's on the PGA Tour in 1995, and you go, well, look, our ratings always suck, and that's how it is, and nothing's ever going to happen that changes it, because golf is inherently not that interesting. People just don't like it. And then what happened in 1996? Tiger Woods comes on the scene, dominates, and then next thing you know, by the year 2003, golf is gigantic. The ratings are through the fucking roof. It's immensely popular. Everybody knows Tiger Woods' name. It's tremendous, right? Well, news and politics and current events is the same thing going on there. The idea that it's inherently not entertaining? No, you're not entertaining. The way you do it, it sucks balls. So what do you need to do? Well, there's a lot of interesting shit happening in the world. Just get people who really care about it and are passionate about it and know about it and have something to say and have a story to tell, and you put them on. I know I always bring them up as the perfect model, but they are the perfect model. Look at Vice. While CNN is, out there having conversations about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West or missing airplanes, Vice is fucking embedded with ISIS in Syria. Who does that? They're following a guy who thinks he's a literal reincarnation of Jesus. Who does that? I'll tell you who does that. People who care about the world, they care about news, they care about current events, and they have something to share with people, which is why they are immensely popular. And by the way, today they just signed another deal with HBO, which gives them a nightly broadcast, whereas CNN is dwindling away into obscurity. They're dwindling away into the ether, and nobody gives a fuck about them. Not because that genre is inherently not entertaining. No, it's because they're just bad at it.